KREM 2 News 10 at 10 begins now.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us tonight for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Cody Proctor. We start off tonight with a weather impact alert day. Snow is expected to drift into our region in less than 24 hours. Meteorologist Michelle Boss is joining us now live in the Weather Center tonight with more on what to expect.
Yeah, in previous weeks, the snow levels have been pretty high and the mountain passes have been pretty much clear except for those highest mountain passes. Not so this weekend. We are expecting a lot of precipitation and above 4,000 feet. It's going to be coming down heavy. Let's take a look at the winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings. If you have any travel plans over the passes, be prepared for wintry weather. Snoqualmie may see a little bit of rain mixing in over the weekend, but for Stevens Pass, Washington Pass, Sherman Pass, Lookout Pass, look for the potential of 1 to 2 feet of snow. And in some of those northern valleys below 2,500 feet, could also see some light accumulations, especially Saturday night into Sunday. That's for northeastern Washington and North Idaho. Right now, things are relatively quiet. We're seeing a little bit of light rain that was mixed in with a little bit of snow up upon the higher benches of the Palouse earlier this evening, down towards Moscow, Pullman, and then southward from there. Temperatures are mostly in the 30s, 35 in Spokane, 37 in Coeur d'Alene, 32 in Sandpoint, below freezing in Deer Park, and temperatures in the mid-30s in Pullman, in the 40s in Lewiston. Short-term forecast is relatively quiet. We could see the development of some fog overnight and early Saturday morning here locally. Temperatures dropping down to around 30, and then it looks like our first snow is possible Saturday night into early Sunday morning, but if you blink or sleep in Sunday morning, you might miss it because then it's all rain the rest of the day on Sunday with highs back up in the mid-40s.
Michelle, thank you so much. Meanwhile, the final notices in this round of layoffs from Boeing went out today. We're learning more than 430 union engineers are on that list as part of an overall 10% job cut across the board at Boeing. Boeing itself has been tight-lipped about exactly who is getting laid off. The company did say both union and non-union employees, managers, and executives are included. The Boeing machinists who were just on strike for 2 months are not. Now, the last day on the Boeing payroll for impacted employees will be January 17th. The company says it will provide career transition services as severance pay for non-union employees. That amounts to about 1 week of pay for each year of employment. Well, starting today, the 2024 D.B. Cooper Conference is making a layover at Seattle's Museum of Flight. It's diving deep into the unsolved hijacking mystery from 1971. This time, organizers say 2 new suspects will be unveiled. The man known as Dan Cooper famously hijacked the flight from Portland to Seattle on Thanksgiving Eve. He demanded $200,000 and parachutes before jumping from the plane, never to be seen again. At the conference, there will be a leading cold case DNA scientist, researchers, and even the passenger who sat in the same row as Cooper on Flight 305. What happened to Cooper remains a mystery to this day, and the case was closed by the FBI over 6 years ago. While attorneys representing the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students filed several new motions to suppress evidence this week, they're some of the latest additions to the hundreds of court documents filed. The new court documents come almost exactly 2 years to the day as the Moscow murders. The defense for Bryan Kohberger, the man accused of killing 4 University of Idaho students, cited multiple pieces of evidence in the new motions, including Kohberger's apartment and his cell phone data, as well as Amazon, Google, and Apple. The defense argues the evidence obtained through those last 3 and through cell phone data violate privacy laws. They also argue evidence gathered by law enforcement using Kohberger's genetic information was, quote, illegally gathered by law enforcement and violated the Fourth Amendment. In the early findings of the investigation, police found DNA on a leather knife sheath at the off-campus house on King Road. DNA found in the garbage at Kohberger's parents' house in Pennsylvania found it was likely the father of the person whose DNA was on the sheath. The defense frequently stated throughout the new court documents investigators only focused on the suspect because of his car and the shape of his eyebrows. In addition, the documents state the search warrant from Pennsylvania authorities to look into Kohberger's white Hyundai Elantra lacked probable cause. The prosecution now has until December 6th to respond to the defense's filings, a public hearing scheduled for late January. The prosecution says it will seek the death penalty if Kohberger's convicted. All right, let's go now to Night Beat for a quick look at the day's top stories. A 15-year-old from Lewiston linked to more than a dozen swatting calls all across the country. Now, if you don't know, swatting is when someone calls 911 and reports a fake situation to get a big police response. That suspect's name hasn't been released because of his age, but Lewiston police say he called in hoaxes at least 6 times in 3 days, beginning with the swatting call to St. Joe's Hospital on June 19th, and it went further than that. He's tied to swatting calls all across the country. Detective Sergeant Nick Eiler says it's not just a drain on police resources and time. These types of pranks can have lasting consequences.
Using a computer to create a fake handgun going off, and the dispatcher thought that the person she was talking to had committed suicide. And she is just beside herself. She's crying, she's upset, and that causes so much trauma on our dispatchers. And then to have it not be real.
The teen suspect is now charged with falsely reporting an explosive after he claimed bombs were set to go off outside the Lewiston Police Department. A Moses Lake man has been sentenced to 5 years in prison for detonating homemade bombs. This is a picture of the damage from one of those bombs. According to the Eastern Washington District Attorney's Office, in 2021, 33-year-old Nicholas Arnaudy built 2 explosive devices to scare people he believed robbed him. Investigators say they were filled with homemade shrapnel. They say he attempted to detonate them in an apartment complex full of people. Fortunately, no one was hurt. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison, followed by 3 years of probation. And a man accused of a stabbing spree in Seattle last week now faces more charges. Roland Jerome Lee is now charged with 5 counts of assault. At last check, one of the 5 people stabbed is still in the hospital. Police believe Lee may be connected to more stabbings in the area and could face more charges. They're still investigating. And that was your Night Beat. To learn more about any of these stories, just head to our website, KREM.com. In the meantime, a second case of chronic wasting disease has been confirmed in Spokane County. According to the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife, it was found in adult male white-tailed deer. It was harvested by a hunter during the opening weekend of deer hunting season. The WDFW confirmed this deer was found close to the site of the first case near Fairwood, Washington. Hunters and salvagers in those areas will be required to send in samples of any deer, elk, or moose. Republicans, who will soon be in control over both the House and Senate, are at odds over whether to push forward with confirmation for some of President-elect Donald Trump's choices to join his administration. House members left for the weekend without an ethics committee vote on whether to release a report looking into allegations of sexual misconduct by former Congressman Matt Gaetz, Trump's choice for Attorney General. Meanwhile, the debate over Senate confirmation for some of President-elect Trump's cabinet picks is already underway on Capitol Hill.
I think it's important for them to have all critical information that they need to make an intelligent decision.
When you have these sort of complaints and investigations, it's always better to find out before than after.
Another cabinet pick that could face a confirmation battle here on Capitol Hill, Trump's choice to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Kennedy's anti-vaccine activism has several lawmakers questioning whether he should oversee the nation's public health agenda. Well, looking ahead this weekend, Scraps is hosting a free spay and neuter clinic. They plan to serve 100 dogs. Scraps says that the clinic is a solution to reducing the number of unwanted litters of puppies in the area. The event is on Sunday from 7 in the morning until 6 in the evening at the Scraps location on Trent Avenue. Registration is required and there is a refundable $25 reservation fee. You can find a link to sign up on our website, KREM.com. And that was your KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time.